On tonight's episode of Tales from the Porch Swing, Spanglish, cussing in the house, goats and videos, and things old men say. So, I've learned a little bit. I can speak some Spanish. I can speak enough to get by. And a lot of these Mexicans that come in the shop around here, they've learned hillbilly English. And there was one that used to work over for the nursery across the road from the shop. He'd come in, he'd talk real high like that. He'd say, "How yous doing today? Yous okay?" And then I've learned how to tell if they can speak English or not. If you ask them a question, or if you talk to them and they grin and say yes, then they can't speak no English. So I had one in there one day, and he was needing some brakes on his car, and I said, "Is that thing a two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "A two-wheel drive?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Four-wheel drive?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Oh, forget about it. I'll figure it out." So, growing up, we always hung out at Brock's house when we got to be teenagers. But when we were younger, I was the only kid that his mom would let come over to the house, and I could come over anytime. But as we grew up, that's just where we all hung out. So, man, one night we were about grown. We were probably 18, 19, 20. And I bet there's 10 or 15 of us over there sitting in the living room. And we'd rented The Hunt for Red October. And we was watching The Hunt from Red October, and it's got like maybe one cuss word in the whole movie. So we're watching it. And about that time that they say that cuss word, I don't even remember what it is, his mama comes walking through. And she stops. And so she hit the roof and she said, "There ain't gonna be no damn cussing in this house." So we just kind of looked at each other and we just all got up and left. So his mama bought a video camera in about, I don't know, when we were in about 6th or 7th grade, and man, Brock fell in love with videography, and that was his thing. And it so much so that's what he went to college for. That's what his job is now. I mean, y'all be surprised about the shit y'all watched on TV and like the concerts you've been to that he's been the cameraman at. Well, we decided that he was coming through Black Mountain, and we were going to make us a video. We were going to make us a lip sync video. So the first one we made was Posse on Broadway, Black Mountain style. And a little tip, don't get caught filming on the railroad, because they kind of frown on that. So then, later on that summer, the next one he did was, he was coming back through, so the next one we did was Ice Ice Baby Black Mountain style. And man, this one we really did up. I went to the Goodwill and I got me a outfit, and I went and had, that's when I had a little bit more hair, because that's been a few years ago. So I went down to the barber shop and I had lines or lightning bolts cut in the side, and then I dyed blonde streaks in it. And we were looking good. So we filmed the video, and my buddy Probisco, he had a goat. And I called him and I said, "Man, bring White Goat down here and let's put White Goat in the video." So here he comes, and he's got White Goat in the back of his truck. His girlfriend's riding in the back trying to hold White Goat in the back of the truck. We get White Goat down there, we put White Goat in the video. What goes on, and we release our video, and next thing we know, the Black Mountain News is calling, and they wanted to do an interview. So they call all of us on the phone, we do an interview, and then the next thing we know, WLOS, the TV station over here in Asheville, wants us on the news in the morning. I guess it was a slow news morning. So when we go over there, we do our interviews for WLOS, and they've got us on there. They're showing our video and stuff. Well, there was a bar, and it's still there down in town in Black Mountain, and they said that they would do a video release party for us after we were on the news. So we're going to do a video release party, and that day Probisco calls me and he's like, "Man," he said, "come up here and help me get White Goat. We're going to take White Goat to the bar." So, well, I go up there. I go up to his house, and he's got a Myrtle Beach t-shirt, and he's cut it up to look like it's got fringe, like them t-shirts you get at Myrtle Beach when we were in about 3rd grade. So, we wrestled that t-shirt on that goat, and we take the goat down. We loaded up the truck and take the goat down to the bar. We got the goat out the truck. We got White Goat out there playing her video, you know, and everybody's talking to us. We walk White Goat through the bar, and we get some beer, and we walk back outside, because you know how goats are. They're shitting and pissing everywhere. And we walk White Goat back outside, and we're standing there talking. And the funniest thing was, there's this old gal standing there, man. She was all dressed up, had on these high heels. And White Goat was standing there pissing on her shoes. And she never figured it out. And I see what was going on. I told Francisco, I said, man, we better get out of here. We better get White Goat out of here. So we drank our beer right quick. And then loaded White Goat back up in the truck and took White Goat back to the house and put her back in the pasture. And the best thing for a young boy growing up is to hang out with old men, because you'll get an education. I got an education growing up hanging out with my papa and hanging out with like his buddies and all these other old men. There used to be these 2 old men that come in the shop every day. They're dead now. One was Fulton and one was Herman. And man, I'd known Fulton my whole life, ever since I was born, I guess. He was my neighbor growing up. He lived right across the hill from me. And Fulton was full of sayings and stories. And we had a big flood. It was back about 2004, I think. And we were all talking about that flood, the rain. Well, he's always talking about the 40 flood. And he said down below the shop, that whole bottom flooded down there. And he said, we was down there at the store before the 40 flood. And said old Toad Childers, he told us he wished it'd come a flood. It'd make Noah's flood look like a morning dew. And he said the next morning we had to take a boat and rescue that bastard off his roof. And then old Herman, he was an old man that used to come in the shop. And they'd come in there and sit every day and drink coffee and just sit around and talk. And me and Herman was talking one time, and he was talking about how expensive doctors and stuff was. And he said, well, you know, it speaks against them in the Bible. And I said, it does. I said, what does it say? And he said, well, it says in there, woe be unto the doctors and the lawyers. Maybe it does. I'm not a Bible scholar, but I ain't never read that. But I don't know, man. And so my papa, when he was growing up, he was raised up on North Fork, and that's where the Asheville watershed's at now. And when they built the watershed, they moved everybody out. But Papa was raised up there on North Fork, and he'd walk to town and back in Black Mountain, man. That was back in the 20s and the 30s. There wasn't a bunch of street lights or nothing. And he said one night he'd been to town, and he was walking up Flat Creek Road, and he said it was real dark, and it was in the summertime, and there was a storm coming in. And he said it was pitch black, and he heard something going, And he said, man, I thought somebody had knocked somebody in the head, and I was going to have to go back down to town and get the law. So he said, I went sneaking up through there. Said, I was sneaking. Said, about that time, a big old streak of lightning come, and it lit everything up. And said, I was about to step on top of him. There's an old boy had no gown down. Getting him a mess. And said, every time he'd take a stroke down, she'd go, He said, right there in the middle of Flat Creek Road in Black Mountain. I guess they couldn't wait to get to the house. Maybe it was too far to walk. I don't know. But I reckon that's enough stories for tonight. We're going to piss on the fire and call the dogs. I'll catch you on the flip.